Well, Jays fans, it's a mid-December Blue Jays video. I don't know if many of us expected this, but I wanted to wait a little bit to kind of get all the details about this whole thing before I did a video on it. Troy Tulowitzki has been released by the Toronto Blue Jays. Full on, just see you later, bud. I think a lot of Jays fans are going to say good riddance. And thank you for the 2 years of great stuff. But the last year and a half has not been fun for Jays fans watching Troy Tulowitzki not play. And the fact that he's making $38 million over the next 2 seasons is ridiculous. This Jays team is in a transition phase. They don't want any type of cancer in this locker room, in this in the clubhouse, whatever words you want to use. And we heard Troy Tulowitzki's comments last year. Well, if somebody's better than me, then they're going to play over me. But otherwise, I'm shortstop. Well, not for the Blue Jays, bud, because you're gone. And I don't know who's going to pay you, because 34 years old, has not played in a year and a half. And when he did play in those last couple of years, you saw the numbers start to decline a little bit. So yeah, he was still a pretty good defensive player. But having bone spurs in both your feet, not a fun injury. And we don't even know if he's healthy right now. The fact that the Jays full-on release Troy Tulowitzki like that, not even trying to bring him back healthy, have him play for a bit, then trade him, which I know the contract's big, but for only 2 years, and if he's playing well, then you trade him. But the fact that the Jays full-on just released him tells me a few things. Number one, he could not even be close to healthy, and he couldn't even be ready to go next year. Number two, he's got no spot in this team in the future. So what the heck's the point of keeping him around? He's being a real pain in the butt anyways. So why not? Why keep him around? And the Jays just said, you know what, Troy? It's probably the best of both worlds for both of us. We don't want you around anymore. You don't want to play. You want to play shortstop only. We don't want you to play shortstop. So let's see if you can find a new team. If you can, good for you. Good luck. If not, so be it. All right? And for the Jays, guys, look, we talked about it in the off-season, in the season review, in the off-season preview video. We talked about the clustered infield. We talked about that being a big thing. Well, since the off-season has begun, 3 have been gone. Solarte, they released, thank God. Aledmys Diaz, all right, he was traded. As I was kind of shocked he got traded, but then again, we know the infielders that are coming up, so it doesn't surprise me too much. And then you outright just release Troy Tulowitzki. 3 infielders. Oh, Solarte is more of a utility guy because he did play some shortstop and second base for this team earlier in the year. All of them are gone. I know they're trying to clear ways for guys like Vladdy and Bo Bichette, and you could say Kevin Biggio as well. And obviously some younger guys, Jordan Groshans, Logan Warmoth, those other young middle infielders this team has, Santiago Espinal as well. And with this move, not only does it free up some space, it frees up cap space, or sorry, salary space, whatever word you want to use, budget room. And it frees up some room for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to play a little bit more next year. Ideally, he's going to play almost all the time, unless Bo Bichette surprises everybody. But I think Lourdes Gurriel will be playing most of his time at shortstop just for this year. You know, and you have a guy like Richard Urania who's done a lot of great things for this team over the last couple of years. So what does that mean for Devin Travis? Well, I don't know. He had a down year last season. He's been injured the entire time, you know, for years and years before. The 1 year he's healthy, he doesn't do all that well. I think this is a big year for Devin Travis. I really do. If he doesn't perform the way we know he could past this, beyond, or in the past, I guess, past this last year, then there's going to be an argument. You know, do you trade Devin Travis at his peak and you get a lot for him, as well as, you know, having these younger players come up, or do you keep him and just play him because he's good? So they'd be a really tough situation. But if he doesn't play well and he's like he was last year with a .230 hitter and, you know, that kind of thing, I think you look to move a guy like Devin Travis, or do you look to move him now? I don't know. And a lot of questions surfacing over the last little bit about, you know, Stroman and Sanchez and them looking to be dealt and all that kind of stuff. Look, for me personally, the Jays will not deal those two guys right now. For a few reasons. Number one, you have a couple of years of control of these two pitchers. Number two is, they just came off a horrendous year. Stroman came off probably his worst season of his career. Couldn't stay healthy, and when he wasn't all that great. Sanchez, over the last few seasons, since his ERA title, has not been healthy. You're going to be selling him at their low. I know Jay's been like, oh, get rid of them, they're useless. But then those are the people that are going to get mad because of the return you're going to be getting. You want to sell these guys at their high. We've seen in the past, when you don't do that, what happens? Look at Josh Donaldson. We were talking about it a couple years ago, or I guess like a year and a bit ago, about trading him in the offseason because you want to maximize his value. This team is not going to be good enough next year. You know, you want to trade him at his highest peak. Well, the Jays banked on him having a great year and then moving him at the deadline for good pieces. Alas, that did not happen. So, you don't want to wait too long, but you also don't want to sell them at their worst, as Stroman and Sanchez are right now. So, guys, the fact that the middle infield depth has kind of dwindled a little bit, not a bad thing, because it needed to happen. I'm happy Troy Tulowitzki has been released, because all we've heard from this guy over the last year and a half has been nothing but negatives. And the fact that we have so many young players coming up, some great-looking young players coming up to take those spots, you don't need like a guy like that around. But the fact that they just released him, you know, didn't even try and keep him around at all this year, tells me that they just did not have any plan for him, and they didn't want to deal with this at all. And I don't blame Shapiro and Atkins for wanting to do this. So nobody can bash Shapiro and Atkins for this move. Anybody who tries is an idiot. Like, I love you guys, but if you say that Atkins, Shapiro, and idiot for letting Tulo walk like that, I'm gonna miss Tulo. I mean, I'm gonna miss the Tulo chance, and I'm gonna miss him, in the 2015-16 years. We got to remember, when first pitch happens this year, that's gonna be 3 years since those happened. These guys aren't the same. Look at Bautista. I don't think he's signed anymore. I think he'll probably end up retiring. Edwin, heck, you've heard Cleveland's trying to trade him. And I think he's in, the final year of his deal? Or something like that? He's now, 34, 35 years old? They're getting to the end of their contracts, guys. Guys like Russell Martin, Kevin Pillar, those guys as well are the only regime left of that 2015-16 run. Stroman, Sanchez, and Pillar, and Russell Martin. And Russell Martin in the last year of his crazy contract that Alex Anthopoulos gave him. So, that's it for that. Guys, it's a transition year for the Toronto Blue Jays. It's going to be quite an interesting 2019 season. You've seen it already with Troy Tulowitzki being gone. You've seen it Diaz and Solarte get moved. And we're only in December, guys. Spring training ain't till February. So, it's going to be quite the interesting rest of the way. I think there's still going to be moves to be made. I think Devin Travis is the guy that's really a question mark for me. Because after him, you got a lot of the young players. You got a Bo, you got a Vladdy, you got a Lourdes Gurriel, you got a Biggio, you have a Richard Urania, and I know there's other guys in the minor leagues as well that are really good looking players, and they're going to be coming up and impacting this team soon. But other than Devin Travis, like the 27, 28-year-old Devin Travis, the rest of the infield is young. So for him, I don't know. I don't know what's going to be happening with him. I think that's the big question mark moving forward, all right? So, you know what, guys? That's going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, all the stuff we talked about here today. Hope you guys are excited for the 2019 Toronto Blue Jays season, because I am, because it's going to be a fun one. Especially this team probably won't win a lot of games, and they'll probably be like they were this past year. You're going to be seeing the younger players. You're going to be seeing a lot more of Danny Jansen, Reese McGuire, Rowdy Tellez, Lourdes Gurriel. You're going to be seeing a ton of Vladdy Jr. past April. You could even be seeing Bo Bichette past April, depending on how his spring goes and how his first month goes. This Jays team could look entirely different come the month of May and June. And it's going to be exciting because they're young. and because they're the new regime of the Toronto Blue Jays. Guys, I know it sucks right now, and I know you're seeing all these guys, Troy Tulowitzki, and you remember those years that he had with us. Ideally, he didn't play all that well, but he had a lot of big moments. Times change. You know, look at the Kansas City Royals. They had that World Series, and everyone's freaking out. Now look at them. They're down in the dumps, and half that team is gone. Most of the team is gone. It's because their payroll sucks. But for the Jays, they're in a transition year. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Shapiro and Atkins deal with this and how the Jays do this year. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Evan and I will talk to you guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that great stuff. And Evan and I will talk to you guys tomorrow, podcast edition. By the way, birthday today. How's it doing? How's everybody doing? 22 years old. I feel like I'm getting old. Not really, to be honest. I mean, you know, going from 21 to 22, you don't really feel any different. But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Evan and I will talk to you guys tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon, podcast edition. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys. Raptors edition. Well, actually, let me think the Leafs first. Leafs edition. Thursday, as the Buds are in Tampa Bay taking on the Lightning, the Leafs look to win their second straight game. They look to get on a nice little roll and beat the top team in the league in the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's not going to be an easy test, especially in Tampa, but let's see what this team can do. No Zach Hyman in Thursday's game, serving the final game of his 2-game suspension. And as for the Toronto Raptors, guys, we'll be talking to you guys later tonight as the Raptors are in Golden State taking on the Warriors. Hopefully Kawhi Leonard back in the lineup there tonight. Against the Warriors. Raptors look for their second straight victory, and they look to take down the, you know, NBA champions, the best team in the league, whatever you want to call them. Tonight, 10:30 tip-off at the Oracle in Golden State. All right, and as for the Jays, guys, we'll talk to you guys throughout the offseason if anything occurs. But as for right now, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you guys then.